What is going on, broskies? It is Lupus, and in today's video I wanted to go over some new leaked information on the Naval Strike DLC. For those of you who have not heard, the Russian Battlefield 4 Twitter page recently leaked 4 names that could possibly be the map names for the Naval Strike DLC. Whether or not these are real, we do not know yet because the source was not a legitimate source, but it has started a lot of speculations, and what I wanted to do today was to first inform you guys of what the names are, but I want to go a little bit more in depth. I want to talk about some of the possibilities of when it could be coming out, as well as some potential map ideas that I've been speculating and thinking over that I would really like to see come out within this DLC. So to start off with, the 4 names that have been leaked are Lost Islands, Nancha Strike, Wavebreaker, and Operation Mortar. They all hold a very unique truth to them that make me think that they could possibly be the real names, but at this point we do not know. I do think they have a lot of really interesting and catchy names that will probably be something that we remember in the future, being like, yeah, I remember that DLC within Battlefield 4, and I think that the entire idea behind the Naval Strike DLC is going to hold that, because it is something that has never really been done before in a Battlefield game or in any other game for that matter. So now I want to talk about one of the biggest map ideas that I would really like to see come out in the Naval Strike DLC. If you guys remember, within the campaign of Battlefield 4, there was the Angry Seas part of the campaign, where basically you were on a massive aircraft carrier that had been stranded out at sea, and you had to make your way through the corridors, through the cafeteria, through all of the living quarters within it, and then it ended up breaking in half, and you had to jump from one part to another, and then you had to get into a boat and try and fight your way back to the original aircraft, or the battleship rather, that you had come from, the Valkyrie. So what I would really like to see within this DLC, and what I think is very likely due to the picture that is being used to represent this DLC at the moment, which I will put up on the screen right now for you guys to see, it makes me believe that one of the maps, and what I'm thinking it is going to be the map called Wavebreaker, just because it's Wavebreaker. So it makes me think that what it is going to be is a massive aircraft carrier that is stranded out at sea, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, because in that part of the campaign it was a massive aircraft carrier surrounded by a bunch of battleships and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly sure what we will see, but I believe that it is going to be a massive aircraft carrier, not one of the small ones. If you guys know, within Battlefield 4 and in Battlefield 3, sometimes the spawn points for the US or the Russian or the Chinese ends up being a massive aircraft carrier out in the water, but that's actually a smaller aircraft carrier. Those things hold, you know, maybe 2 or 3 jets and a helicopter or 2, but I believe this DLC is going to have a massive, one of those humongous that holds hundreds of aircraft vehicles on top of it. It's going to be stranded out there, and that is where most of the battles are going to take place. It is going to be, you know, it's going to be destroyed, it's going to be stranded, and I believe the Levolution event is going to be just like in the campaign, where it ended up breaking in half and part of it ended up sinking. I believe that's what's going to end up happening. A lot of the really cool battles that are going to take place is obviously a ton of naval battles are going to be going on within the water surrounding that. The battleships are probably going to be around it as well. There's going to be a lot of close quarters encounters with the infantry within the aircraft carriers internals, as well as possibly some of the surrounding battleships that we could end up seeing, and a lot of stuff such as that. And I'm not exactly sure how the flags are going to work. Maybe the flags would be one central flag inside the massive aircraft carrier, and then some other flags on battleships surrounding the aircraft carrier. That could work very well as well. And to me, that seems like it's going to be one of the coolest maps ever. And that's probably the map that is being depicted on the Naval Strike art that I have on screen that you guys have been looking at. So I believe that is a very likely possibility, and to me that seems like it's going to be one of the coolest maps that we've seen in Battlefield 4 thus far. And it will reminisce a little bit and look somewhat like the Paracel Storm first 2 objectives when you're playing Rush. It would probably be something very similar to that, but on a very much larger scale. It's probably going to be 100 times larger than that, and it's going to be a very epic battle going on. You know, you're going to have all your naval warfare as well as your infantry within the ships and all that kind of good stuff. Your jets fighting in the air, the helicopters, all that kind of stuff is going to be around, and it's definitely going to be a really awesome map. Another thing that has recently been speculated on is the introduction of the submarines. A lot of people have been seeing some hints at submarines within Naval Strike information and stuff like that. And if you guys do recall, whenever Battlefield 4 was in its pre-alpha state, they ended up leaking a commander mode viewpoint of Lankang Dam, which had a submarine possibility, and that was never really introduced into the full game. So what I think they possibly did was took it out temporarily and decided to just introduce the submarines within Naval Strike, because then it would be something unique to that DLC and it would fit in much better. So could we end up seeing this introduced in the Naval Strike DLC for Battlefield 4? The possibility seems very likely, and I know a lot of people will be pumped to hear that it could possibly be introduced. The bomber within China Rising was a cool little addition when it did come out, but it didn't have that oomph that the submarine could end up adding. So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy seeing the submarine within it. It's definitely going to add a new aspect to the game, and I really can't wait to see if it actually does end up showing itself in the Naval Strike DLC. If you guys do have any opinions on the submarines or on my map ideas that I talked about today, then leave that in the comment section down below. But anyways, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to hear your opinions on the matter in the comment section down below. But as always, this has been Lupus, and I will catch you guys in the next one.